I have what I call a basketball set for you. That's 3 tall guys and a couple of short guys. And in the interest of time, the tall guys are tall, so I'm not going to chat much. This is the Garden of Earthly Delights. And it has a couple of epigraphs, but I'll just read the second one. To become a crowd is to keep out death. To break off from a crowd is to risk death as an individual, to fear dying alone. That's Jack Gladney's from Don DeLillo's White Noise. There's a man in Queen's Park this Toronto July, in a busted down coat like a pissed out fire. It's hot and dark in the shade where he picks the crust from the white bread with cheese, the kind street patrol wraps in cellophane. Behind him, a young man holds his son by the hand and buys a bomb pop from a swarthy man and a good humor man. There may or may not be a dog. If there's a dog, it's a Jack Russell. The boy watches pigeons flock to the old man. The old man watches the boy and grimaces. If you see a dog, call it a grizzled smile. If you see his melanoma, call it whatever you want. Across the street, children run on the grass in front of the legislature to protest the cost of housing. Some press against the barriers and stretch to rhyme ghetto. Others lounge in the shade in conscientious clusters. It is a beautiful day. The sun makes little diamonds on the riot shields. Couples emerge from the passway that links the college to the park, the family clinic to palliative care. The youngest walks in awkward lockstep that's half embrace, half three-legged race. The next has grown comfortable with space, holding hands, heads surveying the available paths. His free hand combs pamphlets, hers drifts unconsciously to her abdomen. Last, walking half a pace behind, a steel-haired woman watches a bald man's uneven steps on uneven asphalt. Occasionally, she twitches at the shoulder of his sweater or points out spots on his Oxfords. I want to say cold things. That she's done a wonderful job accessorizing his colostomy bag. That the protesters' frenzied frottage won't keep them from getting fucked. But you're not here to hear. So I keep these things from the ears of the parents and grandparents crowding together in public space. You would know what I meant, though. You gave me this Bosch notebook, after all, wanting the Garden of Earthly Delights to remind me of you. This one doesn't require a lot of explanation. It's all title. Poem with a line about Mallory. This might work better as an image of December in the dirtiest Parisian cafe. We drink our absinthe and recline on a plinth, lamenting that our luck will never change. But much to our despair, we lack the Gallic flair to emulate ecstatic Mallarmé. So we order up some lagers with a lassitude that augurs a day when all this happiness might fade. This next one's my tribute to Blues Fest. It's called 12 Gates to the City after the Reverend Gary Davis. It is based on an old spiritual called 12 Gates to the City. Beautiful city. Oh, what a beautiful city. When the sun comes up, all sugar fire reds, and lights the treetops like matchstick heads. The oil-stained streets are quiet and dead. Oh, what a beautiful city. Deep in the canyons, cast in concrete and glass. If you stand in the park, amid the new-cut grass, reflections make the sky seem impossibly vast. Oh, what a beautiful city. Busker's heart hums a swarm of juke joint bees that bump down the bank beneath the river's trees, waking up the runaway with her head on her knees. Oh, what a beautiful city. White clouds blow in from north of the valley, framed by the high-rises flanking the alley, and the trash bins laden as an old Persian galley. But oh, what a beautiful city. Retired men and widows in their Sunday bests stroll along the river where the litter collects, and the shit-slick rushes and the wild birds' nests. Oh, what a beautiful city. An afternoon shower wakes the decadent stink of the fertile mud under the outdoor rink where the high school kids hide out and drink. Oh, what a beautiful city. Signs along the street offer every panacea, from an herbalist shop above the local galleria to the head shop run by a family from Korea. And oh, what a beautiful city. A young girl sings a song of hopeless romance in a blacklight club where their young girls dance, and lonely men lament being victims of chance. But oh, what a beautiful city. The smell of deep-fried cigarettes and gasoline sauce rises from the streets to the chapel's cross and hovers in the night like an albatross. Oh, what a beautiful city. When the last drunks stumble from the smokeless bars, when their voices fade away, the streets empty of cars, stand there in the silence and stare at the stars and think, oh, what a beautiful city. Yeah, what a beautiful city. Oh, my beautiful city. So sticking to the basketball framework of this, if any of you know basketball, this is not a knowledge test, but this is the Spud Webb of the night. Senryu for center fielders. Nature abhors the ground ball. Thick dandelions ring the infield shale. And I'll close with this one called Passing the News. Twilight nearly blinds him, reflecting off the tarn. Across the water, his outbuildings cup the last light. The aluminum barn flares like the center of a tournesol. Mist ghosts the ditches below the Lutheran church. The road bends towards home. Everything is ordinary. Nothing conspires. Crows always fatten this time of year. His wife speaks German mostly now that they're alone. Brisket and cabbage. New halogen bulbs in the old shed. He flips the switch, sending furious light against the walls. Something breaks. A warm flush confuses him. The left side of his face goes numb. Fingertips work palms as though peeling a rubbery sealant. He thinks he may be having a stroke. Something alive rustles in its nest under the junk pile. A face resolves out of the agglomerated scrap. He calls it a face, though not a human face. It speaks to him in functional metaphors. Meaning straightens salvaged transverse axles. Purpose draws tarred rope shanks to strawless brooms. He brushes rust from a boilerplate. Red swirls in the draft. A suggestively protean nebula drifts. Monday, he clears equipment from the new barn, loads the truck, drives it into the yard, unloads. He covers things in plastic, though it's sunny and clear. Twilight nearly blinds him, reflecting off the tarps. Tuesday, he dismantles the junk pile piece by piece, delicate as a surgeon parsing a faulty heart. He lists each piece on a roll of butcher's paper, notes its size, describes its shape and position. Diagrams fill the gaps where words escape. In the new barn, chalk lines separate the pieces. Clouds muzzle the sunset. He works past dark. Gretchen brings him breakfast. She doesn't ask. He doesn't offer. Coffee cools too quickly. Welding iron finials to an obsolete transmission, he loses his train of thought in arc light and sparks. Cold coffee starts him again. Diagrams help. Everything proceeds by fortunate accident. He burns out his electric sander, spills sealant. Gretchen watches from the kitchen, absently humming a requiem over a ham. She watches him roll the old wagon to the bluff, pour schnapps on the dirt. When he twitches the tarp down, she sees the shadow of a face floating on the water. She hears it humming requiem. In the twilight, she sees the red sun in its eye. Everything is ordinary. Nothing conspires. Guten Tag. Guten Tag.